What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we are diving back into the Great League battle submissions from last rotation. Again, you guys are seeing this. Actually, I think rotations, it's happening today, later today, so you might be watching this while Great League is available. But anyways, these battle submissions were submitted while I was moving house, and I thought these teams were cool. The spicy Pokemon that we're showcasing was really awesome, and today we have Heliolisk, which is very unique, and it got Breaking Swipe as a charge move, a electric normal type Pokemon, submitted to the channel by TCS1630. So shout out to this battler. Thanks for sharing this with us, and let's see how it performs. All right, getting into the first battle, we have Deoxys on the lead versus Medicham. So still a good matchup here for defense form Deoxys, but we'll have to see if the opponent decides to stay in, and they do. Maybe the back line might be weak to counter. And usually Medichams in this kind of situation want to chip and dip potentially, or if they are extremely weak in the back, to basically just get rid of the defense form Deoxys. So you got to be reading that right here. But they do have a Dugong with Drill Run just in case. So Thunderbolt will be landing right there for quite a bit of neutral damage. And Medicham, I mean, this is the battle of arguably the two best fighters or pseudo fighters in this meta. Medicham and defense form Deoxys. Me personally, you guys can let me know down in the comments, I lean more towards defense form Deoxys as my pseudo fighter, as my go-to, as my kind of team filler to round things out. I just love that Pokemon much more than Medicham, but that's my personal opinion. So we will see a Psycho Boost now come through, as this should do enough neutral damage to take out the Medicham, and they decide to shield. So we do see a counter swap now into Heliolisk, and they are able to almost farm down, but unfortunately it is part normal typing, so they did take a lot of chip damage there from the counter fast move. Now, one shield to no shield. Let's see what comes in. Oh, there's Bastiodon. All right, that is exactly why Medicham decided to stay in, because they wanted to get defense form Deoxys as low as possible, but thankfully Thunderbolt here does do neutral damage, and actually a good amount. So we're going to see another Thunderbolt come through. And this is a unique situation where, based on the fast move damage, Heliolisk might be able to take this one with a break. Maybe not. No, they do get farmed down, unfortunately. Now, question is, do they come in with Deoxys to try to soak a charge move, or do they try to catch it? Let's see what they decide to do. They come in with Dugong, no swap out. They're going to go ahead and shield the Stone Edge, and then we'll have to see what the final Pokemon is. Remember, Medicham is out, and it's actually going to be a Sableye in the back. So this is going to be a good game, as they do catch the foul play. That's a chef's kiss right there, as that is a beautiful, beautiful catch. And now they can safely go for Icy Wind to lower the attack of the Sableye. Because of the neutral damage that we are going to be seeing right here, they might just, they won't be able to farm down. They're going to have to throw, actually they might be able to. Let's see. If this is foul play, I think it is foul play. They should be able to actually farm down, but they're going to go ahead and probably go for an Icy Wind now. Yeah, this is a good call. This Icy Wind will be enough to take out Sableye, and they're far enough ahead on energy against the Bastiodon here, where they can get to a Drill Run in time, and that is going to be a good game, very well played. So nothing like too crazy in that game. A really nice clean catch on the defense form Deoxys, which was obviously a huge factor in the win condition of that game. But good battle. All right, moving into the next one. We have, let's see, we got Deoxys versus Swampert. Okay, so this is kind of a back and forth. It could go either way because both Pokemon are doing a lot of damage, but they're going to go ahead and swap out into Dugong, actually, saving defense form Deoxys and looking to load up on energy, as they do draw out an Azumarill. Now, if we see a Swampert and an Azumarill, it is safe to guess that there is a anti-grass in the back, which means it is most commonly going to be a flyer, and Heliolisk is going to like that. So Drill Run here, going to do a decent amount of chip damage, and Dugong can actually take this mid-game if they want to, just because of the raw damage that they are putting out. as Play Rough is not enough to KO. Now this is an opportunity for them to go for Icy Wind to debuff. Let's see if they're going to go ahead and do it. Yeah, they do go for Icy Wind. This is beautiful, and this is why I personally love Dugong. It is one of my top favorite Pokemon to have on my teams. We do see a counter swap back in defense form Deoxys, saving energy and soaking the charge move here, which is really nice. And I'm curious if this is going to draw back out the Swampert, because no, it's actually a Sableye in the back. So again, I'm wrong there on the team call, but it's a gamble, right? It's a 50-50 shot if your call is going to be correct or not, and it's an educated guess, and that's what I want you guys to understand, is to critically think, okay, there's a Swampert, there's an Azumarill, there could be something to counter Grass, and there wasn't, but it's not a counter to Heliolisk, which is much more important, because Heliolisk now can do a lot of neutral damage. Remember, it does have access to Breaking Swipe, and this is where things can get out of control. It's that charge move that lowers the attack of your opponent, and it does quite a bit of neutral damage. So all three Pokemon are still alive. We will see a Thunderbolt now come through to KO the Sableye, and then we're going to be seeing that Swampert come out right away. Boom. See it? Swampert comes out. Breaking Swipe. No, they do have the Hydro Cannon ready. They're going to go ahead and shield. And this is a great opportunity for them to flex what Breaking Swipe Heliolisk can potentially do as they go for the charge move here, and it does get a shield. The attack was dropped. They swap out into Dugong now to catch the charge move. This is such a beautiful dance as they are soaking energy on the right Pokemon. Resisted there on Dugong, able to get to an Icy Wind in time for neutral damage, but this Swampert has the opportunity to commit to the hard farm down, and that's what's dangerous here. Actually, no, it doesn't. Ice Shard is going to be way too much. The opponent swaps back out into Azumarill, and they're going to go ahead and throw the Drill Run at the last second, but they don't get it, and that means Azumarill is going to be landing the Play Rough right here. I don't know if it's going to be enough to KO. It's not. Heliolisk gets the farm down. They have the charge move. Who wins? Breaking Swipe? Breaking Swipe takes it, but is it enough damage? Is it going to be enough for the Swampert? Is it? It is! Oh yeah, Swampert was way too low. Boom. See ya. Very good game. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. A beautiful dance right there. And the flow of that team going back and forth, managing the energy and the shields and the damage coming in. That was really good. All right, we got Medicham here on the lead, a safe swap into Lickitung. So this is a huge tell. If they go from a losing matchup, but it's close to another losing matchup that it's close, that they are extremely, extremely weak in the back, and they're trying to, potentially weak in the back, right? They're trying to get rid of the defense form Deoxys. So the Lickitung is going to go ahead and go for Body Slams, which Heliolisk is not too worried about. His Breaking Swipe now is going to be lowering that attack and doing some nice chip damage, and we might just see a farm down right here with Volt Switch, and I imagine that's going to be the play. Yeah, I think they're going to go for it. No shield, full farm down, loaded energy on back end. Going to be looking. Oh, the Power Whip sneaks through. They're forced to throw the Breaking Swipe so that they don't get taken out with fast moves. That was a very shocking turn of events right there as Medicham comes in. But now we will see the defense form Deoxys come in. I don't think they're going to come in with Dugong. But let's see what they're reading. Yeah, they come in with defense form Deoxys now. They are behind on health. And Medicham here a little bit ahead on energy, as they will be able to get to the Ice Punch here to do some chip damage. But let's see if how weak the opponent is in the back, or if Dugong actually has a very favorable matchup. Because remember, defense form Deoxys is not only a pseudo fighter, it's also a pseudo anti-flyer. Because of the Thunderbolt or Rock Slide coverage, it does have access to those charge moves, right? So that means maybe they are in fact weak to flyers in the back, and Dugong might just be able to take it right there, as we do see another Thunderbolt come through. And if the opponent shields again, they must be very weak in the back. No, they decide to let it go, and now Medicham is going to go ahead and try to farm down. They don't get to the Psycho Boost. This is a devastating turn of events, and this is where Dugong is in a very tough position, because they have to have a net positive matchup in the back in order to win this game, as they're going to be forced to shield these next 2 charge moves and do a hard farm down, which means Dugong needs to be able to win the 0-1s here against whatever's in the back. It is a Sand Slash. Drill Run has the potential here, but remember, Drill Run is not stab. Same type attack bonus here on Dugong, so it's not enough to KO, and the Sand Slash is going to be taking this one. So, if we're reading what just happened, right? Medicham lead in defense form Deoxys, Lickitung swap in. It was clear that something in the back had a worse matchup against defense form Deoxys, and in this case, it was an Alolan Sand Slash, which is obviously 4 times weak to counter. So that is going to be a good game, as Sand Slash is going to go ahead and take that one. But again, that comes to reading what your opponent is doing and not doing right there. All right, getting into the next battle. We have, let's see here, we got Deoxys on the lead versus Lantern. Okay, so these seem to be very meta teams that they are facing off against. We do have a Gligar safe swap in, and the Dugong. This is why I love Dugong in this meta, is because Gligars are everywhere. It's the #1 flyer in the Great League meta right now after the Sky Attack nerf and the Aerial Dig buff. Gligar is #1, and Dugong loves seeing that because it can hard farm down, and this is a beautiful situation where they can go ahead and take this mid-game, as the Aerial Ace is not going to be enough to KO right there. And they have Drill Run on the back end for Lantern, and that is why Dugong is arguably the best Pokemon for this meta. I know Medicham is ranked #1, but in terms of coverage against teams and what it can do, Dugong is extremely, extremely good, because look at what it was just able to do without having to shield. Took out a Gligar and nearly took out a Lantern, right? That's 2 Pokemon for no shields, and the final Pokemon is a Charizard, so that's going to get absolutely destroyed by the Heliolisk with Volt Switch, as we will see the Psycho Boost come through to force the shield, and Heliolisk gonna do its thing, as it can now safely, fully farm down, give up 1 shield here, and Charizard might be able to get to another charge move. No, I think after the Blast Burn, yeah, it's not getting to another one in time. Heliolisk 1-to-1 shields against the Lantern that has no health, and a surrender. That was a good battle. I mean, that just goes to show, right, how strong a Dugong can be if getting proper alignment against a Pokemon that's very common, and what it can do on back ends against teams. Even if it was something that wasn't weak to Drill Run, those Icy Wind debuffs are huge. Now we do have a Gligar here on the lead against defense form Deoxys, so both Pokemon are going to be doing neutral damage to each other, unless it is running with Night Slash. Night Slash is that dark type, low energy charge move that Gligar does have access to. We do see a safe swap and a counter swap now into Swampert before throwing a charge move. And Heliolisk now in a unique position where they could go for some heavy debuffs right here against the Swampert and maybe survive a Hydro Cannon. I would absolutely love to see a Heliolisk survive a Hydro Cannon and not get farmed down. But let's see how this is going to play out as they go ahead and go for another one. So I think they do get to 1 more Breaking Swipe before 2 Hydro Cannons come through. As the opponent decides to let those go, they could actually farm down. If they shield here, wait, maybe not. No, I think it's 2 more or 3 more. They're going to go ahead and shield. It was the Earthquake. They can definitely farm down now as they go for the healthy farm down. Heliolisk beating a Swampert. I know it didn't shield, and still, it happened. It happened live right in front of you right here as they go ahead and go for a Breaking Swipe against the Lickitung. The counter swap into Gligar, and Heliolisk is just debuffing left and right. Dragon, Breaking Swipe after Breaking Swipe. Counter swap now into Dugong, and that is just beyond a good game. Dugong is going to be taking this one. There is nothing that Lickitung in the back can do, because it also needs to face off against defense form Deoxys and the Heliolisk, while also getting debuffed here by Dugong with Icy Winds. So that's what we call a good game. And ultimately, it just goes to show that situations or opportunities that arise where you can take advantage of getting massive energy in those kind of situations is huge, absolutely huge, as the Lickitung now is going to go ahead and go for the charge move. It is just going to be Body Slam, and it gets hit with another Icy Wind. This sealed the deal. Guaranteed win now with Defense Form Deoxys because of counter, and we will see the Heliolisk come in. It said it wants a chance at Lickitung as the opponent decides to surrender right here on the charge move. So that is going to be a good game, very well played. All right, moving into, was that the final one actually? I believe that was the final one. So a beautiful set right there from this trainer, getting a Sneasel as well. But Heliolisk with Breaking Swipe, it actually performed really, really well against these meta teams. Now, obviously, it's on the backs of Defense Form Deoxys and Dugong, double Legacy Dugong, which is obviously huge and very powerful combination. But Heliolisk still carried its weight in these battles, which is really cool to see with that Breaking Swipe debuff. We saw what it did against Swampert. We saw the neutral damage that it was able to apply across the board, and overall a really cool set right there. So shout out to TCS1630. Thank you for sharing these battles with us, and like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.